While traveling through New Mexico recently, we visited some of the last remaining active semaphore signals on a mainline railroad. These vintage signals from the early 20th century are found on BNSF's Raton Subdivision in northeast New Mexico. As of 2025, only a handful of Santa Fe 3-position upper quadrant signals remain. So what is a semaphore signal and why were they used? To answer this question, we go back to a program we shot back in 2022 at the Train Mountain Railroad Museum in Oregon. Train Mountain member John Cooper gives us this explanation.
This is a semaphore signal in Train Mountain Railroad Museum's collection. As you can see, it's got a wooden blade attached to this cast iron face. And with the blade being vertical, you can see that the light that's behind here shines through this green roundel. So you can see green is associated with the vertical blade. The blade would spin around this axis point and drop down this way. And while our blade can't actually move because it's been fixed here so it doesn't hit anyone in the head, it would have moved and come to a diagonal position like that. And with the blade diagonal, you can see this yellow roundel would drop down in front of the lamp. And if it came down farther, of course, the blade would be horizontal out this way, and the red roundel would be down in front of the lamp. Now, back in the 1900s, when semaphores were used extensively, the optics weren't all that great. And so this light wasn't really as bright as what we would need for modern railroading. So the engineer would look at the position of the blade by day, and only by night would they rely on the light. So this is the inner workings of the semaphore. Down here is the motor, and you can see the gears in the back that would have turned some cams and some other gears and whatnot. Ultimately, turning this cable right here would have pulled on the mechanism through the mast, and that is what would have raised the blade. This, of course, is a fail-safe system. So if something goes wrong here with any of this mechanism, the weight of the blade will bring it down to the stop position, and it takes things to work right in order for it to display the green's indication.
Back in 2015, we shot these semaphores at the east siding switch of Watrous on the Raton Subdivision just north of Las Vegas, New Mexico. They have since been replaced with more modern lights. All three signals are in the up or clear position. The two nearest blades drop to the stop position, while the farthest remains up. This tells us that a westbound train will be here soon. In this case, it's Amtrak number 3, the westbound Southwest Chief heading between Chicago and Los Angeles. This and its counterpart, the eastbound number 4, are the only regularly scheduled trains that travel this remote line. The lack of traffic on the Raton Subdivision may be a disappointment for rail fans. Yet this is the main reason these signals have lasted as long as they have. As Amtrak 3 continues toward Las Vegas, all three signals return to the rest position. It is a similar story at the east switch of Wagon Mound, near milepost 275. We do know that Amtrak 3 met the eastbound number 4 somewhere south of Las Vegas, so we wait patiently. The first encouraging sign happens when the east siding switch signal drops to red, while the farther facing point signal displays a diagonal, or approach. The train is coming, but is still a few blocks out. Amtrak knocks down the signal at East Wagon Mound. As number 4 continues east for Raton, the distant facing point signals returns to a restricting aspect. As the train enters each subsequent block, the signals will change, finally returning to at rest. We returned to the east siding switch of Wagon Mound in May of 2025. There appears to be an occupied siding, or an eastbound approaching, or maybe the signal is simply giving us a false reading. Looking toward the west switch of the 3,800-foot siding, we see a few hoppers are tied down. And that should explain the red, although the signal at the west switch still shows a clear. The Raton Subdivision is governed by automatic block signals, with trains operating via track warrant control. The name Wagon Mound comes from the nearby landmark that resembles the top of a covered wagon. It once guided pioneers over the Santa Fe Trail. Today, you can still pass the historic landmark on Amtrak or nearby I-25 if you are driving between Santa Fe and Pueblo. To the north or railroad east is the siding of Levy. It is 6,100 feet in length and still guarded by the classic wooden blades at the west switch. They are telling us that westbound number 3 is getting close. It is led today by AMTK 176. An older GE P42 recently repainted into Amtrak's newest Phase 7 paint scheme, which first appeared on their Siemens ALC 42 engines. The train shakes the ground as it passes by. This time we can see the colored light, which coincides with the signal's position. The railroad semaphore signal dates back to around 1842 on the London and Croydon Railway in Europe. Those were manually operated. They became the standard in North America by 1870 and later were replaced with signals that operated electronically and automatically as the technology continued to improve. That growth and innovation continues with the digital signals of today, which have no moving parts. That being said, it is still great to see the older technology at work. Not just in a museum or someone's backyard, but on a main line where they still do the job they were originally intended for. There's no telling how much longer these signals will last, but if you find yourself north of Santa Fe, New Mexico on I-25, stop and see these living pieces of history governing the Southwest Chief on its transcontinental run. We hope you enjoyed this program and ask that you like and subscribe so we can continue to bring videos like this to you. And as always, until next time, thanks for watching.